What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Michael. Welcome to my channel. A little bit about me. I'm 34 years old. I've been investing, since I was 26. I want this channel to basically be about my journey in investing. For as long as I've been investing, I haven't really recorded any videos, as most people can relate to. You don't really have many people you can talk to investing about, especially if you have friends like mine or family like mine. Most of them don't care about investing. So I wanted to start this channel, record some YouTube videos about my portfolio and about my journey, and just go from there. It's my first video, so cut me some slack here, working out the kinks, working out the audio, but we're gonna dive right into my portfolio. I'll go over, some of the positions that I own, why I own them, maybe. I won't do that with everything. I don't want this video to be too long, but we'll just go from there and see how it goes. This is kind of my second take here, so I'm just gonna go with it. If I mess up, I mess up, and then, you learn from your mistakes. Anyways, as you can see on the screen, this is Robinhood Legend. It's a decent platform. I think most people would say there are some things that do still need to be fleshed out and worked on, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. It's visually appealing, but there are a few things that can be worked on. Anyways, so my camera is up here, so I might not always be looking at my camera. I'll try to do my best to do that. Anyways, with this Robinhood Legend account, or Robinhood in general, it's not my primary account, so I only have about 1,100 bucks in here. And honestly, I think that 1,100 bucks is like 6.5 shares of like Nvidia. But anyways, we'll dive right into my primary account, which is Charles Schwab. And here you can see that right now. As you can see, my year-to-date gains are about 156,000, and I'm up about 104%, 105. Total portfolio value is $306,000 and $49.12. So this being my main account, this is, well, let me backtrack a little bit. One thing I like about Charles Schwab is you can link multiple accounts to, their little aggregator, and then you can see everything that you own here. And it does track it on this chart, which is one of the reasons I really like Charles Schwab. Excuse me. But yeah, anyways, so we'll dive right into my positions. My largest position is Palantir. I have 1,015 shares of that. I've actually been buying Palantir from the very first day, from about, I think they went public September 30th of 2020. So we're coming up on the 5-year mark right now with Palantir. But anyways, as you can see, it's my largest position. It's my largest gain. I'm up about 940%, which is amazing. I would say, for most people who have invested in Palantir, it's been kind of like life-changing. First of all, I'm not rich yet, but for the most part, it is my biggest gainer. It's about 50% of my portfolio. And then next we have Robinhood. Robinhood is my second largest position. Shout out to Robinhood for getting into the S&P just a couple days ago. They'll start trading on the S&P on September 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's in 2 weeks or so. Anyways, it's my second largest position. I have 425 shares, but technically I have about 500 or so shares because I have a $60 call contract that I bought last December that is deep in the money right now. So it's around 14% of my position or my portfolio. And then next we have United Healthcare. It's showing that I have 110 shares here, but technically 100 of those shares are on margin. And, I've done actually pretty well on that margin play. I think I got assigned those shares at $290, so it's done very well for me. I'm not planning on selling that position till it hits about 420, 450. At that price, it's going to eliminate all the margin debt that I've already accumulated. Next, I have Tesla, 50 shares of Tesla, 70 shares of Nvidia, 55 shares of AMD, 260 shares of VG Property. Then we have 25 shares of Google, 80 shares of Main Street Capital, 110 shares of Rocket Lab, 300 shares of ABR, 70 shares of BMNR, 105 shares of KeyBank, 300 shares of Grab, and then 100 shares of Open Door, which I honestly just bought yesterday. So disregard that. Anyway, so this is my portfolio. As you can see, if you add all of it up, it's around 331,000, almost 332,000. And like I said, I have been investing aggressively since the age of 26, 27. One of the very first companies that I bought was AMD. I think I was buying it at like $13 or $14. And yeah, so this is basically my whole portfolio. Obviously, my goal is to just keep growing it, get to, 500,000, 750,000, and then 1 million. So basically, this is just me documenting that and, just going from there. So as far as Palantir, as I mentioned, I started buying Palantir September 30th of 2020. That was the day that it DPO'd. I think my first shares that I bought were, I think I bought about 10 shares or something like that. It was like $10. And I remember the day that, the company went public, I was like first in line. I was so excited to buy the company. I was researching the company well before it went public. I live in Colorado, so they're based out here in Colorado. So when I heard that this company was coming to Colorado, I was like, all right, let me look into it. So I started looking into it. And honestly, everything that I saw, I liked. As you can see, I have a Palantir shirt on right now. Shout out to the Palantir shop and, all the stuff that they've dropped. Most of the previous stuff, the stuff that they had in the beginning wasn't that good, but most of their new stuff is pretty good. But anyways, so yeah, I've been buying Palantir for a very long time. It's one of my largest conviction positions. I'm not adding to the position currently. I think the last time that I bought any shares of Palantir was actually this time last year. I think it was September 11th of 2024, and I think I was paying $34.50 at that time. So I don't plan on adding any more to it. I don't plan on selling either. If it dips, that'd be great, but I honestly don't think it's going to dip enough to the point where I'm wanting to buy more. Next is Robinhood. Man, I can't say enough about Robinhood. I know a lot of people still hate on Robinhood for everything that happened with the whole GameStop fiasco. When was that? 2023, 2022, 2023? I think it's 2023. I was one of those people too. I was swearing off Robinhood. I wasn't wanting to own the company. I took all my shares out at that time and, moved it to Schwab as well. But, as I've grown older, learned more about the markets and everything, I think, Robinhood is actually a pretty good investment. As I mentioned earlier, my average is relatively low on Robinhood. So am I buying here? No, but, if somebody wanted to enter in here, that's fine. Obviously, this isn't financial advice. It's just my opinion. But this is my portfolio, guys. This video's already been going for about eight and a half minutes. So I don't want it to be too long. Just a basic introduction of myself. I hope to create more YouTube videos and, just grow this channel whatever way I can. I know YouTube is not the easiest thing to grow. I think probably growing a stock portfolio is a lot easier than trying to grow a YouTube channel, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try to be as consistent as I can with it. I want this to be kind of a new hobby for me as I've run out of current hobbies that I do in the real world. Most of my friends are married with kids, so I don't, have a lot of people to talk stocks about. So here's my portfolio, guys. I'll probably do another video, more of a deep dive about, why I own each stock. And then, I'm going to try to update, the community every day, or not every day, once a month at least on my portfolio, and then trickle in some other videos about stocks going forward. So thank you for watching, and talk to you guys next time.